Hello friends, welcome to a weekly reading vlog. It has been a long time since I have committed to making one of these, and I really want to get back on track because I love them. They are my favorite videos to watch. I really like filming them. I'm just bad at organizing them as I go. So here's hoping 2024 is the year I get better at that. But let's just jump straight into it. If I'm looking a little bit rough, that is because it is the end of the day on Monday and it was my first day back teaching kids at work in a while because of Christmas break, but that's okay. And let's also talk about what I am reading this week. I am hoping to finish 3 books this week. I don't know if that's ambitious or not. The first book that is a priority that I haven't started yet is Shark Heart, a love story. This is my book club book and we are meeting Saturday. I think I'm gonna start it tonight actually, which is gonna put me in the middle of 3 books, which I try so hard not to do, but it looks like it's gonna be such a fast read. Some of the chapters look like this. And I also need to finish it earlier in the week because my best friend was borrowing this and didn't get to finish it. And so I would like to finish it and get it back to him so that he can read it for book club. But I've really been looking forward to this book for lots of reasons. I need a good literary fiction book that's just gonna hit me in the feels, and I feel like this is gonna be it. So priority number 1 this week. Priority number 2 is Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I have started this book. I'm maybe 24% of the way through it, and I'm loving it just as much as I loved the first one. Right now, it's just enchanting and whimsical, and the war stuff is hard to read about. It's brutal. But at the same time, it is just so whimsical and sweet and wholesome at the same time. And I'm learning so much more about the mythology and the lore surrounding the setting, and we're learning more about the characters, and I just love Iris and Roman so much, and I feel like we're gonna get more Addie in this book, and I love her. I love all the side characters, and this one is just delicious. This one is a treat for when I finish my book club books. Speaking of book club books, I am also listening to A Winter in New York by Josie Silver, and I am not having a good time. I'm about 45% of the way through the audiobook, and while there's nothing wrong with the writing, let me just say that the writing is fine. It is very much a contemporary kind of romance women's fiction book. The writing is good. There's nothing about it that's making me cringe, but what is making me just hate this experience is the main female character. She is my age. She is 34. And the book started with her making a dumb decision, and she has done nothing to fix the dumb decision. She had every opportunity to fix it with as little awkwardness as possible, and she just chose to skate right past it, and she's digging herself into a huge hole because of the one stupid decision that she made. And the entire relationship that she is building is built on lies. As Buddy the Elf says, she sits on a throne of lies. I literally wrote that in my reading journal, and she's making me very mad, and I'm not having a good time. So I'm just kind of I hate saying this phrase, but I'm kind of hate listening at this point. And maybe she'll redeem herself. Maybe by the end of this book, I will be you know what, girl, I hated the way that your character arc was going for this book, but you fixed it. I'm proud of you. Proud of you, girly pop, but for whatever reason, I don't see that happening. This is for my other in-person book club, my group of teacher friends, and I'm just really interested to see my feelings about this book by the end of it so that I know what kind of tone I'm going to be bringing to the conversation. I don't have that book club until the 21st, so I'm kind of just listening to that here and there as I've got chores around the house or I'm going for walks or whatever. Secondly, I wanted to do a little mini book haul because I got some new books. First of all, my book of the month box for January finally got here. First book I got this month is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I loved The Silent Patient. I felt indifferent towards The Maidens, so I really want to see where I land with this one. It's pretty short, and remembering his other 2 books, they read so fast. I think I read both The Silent Patient and The Maidens within 1 or 2 days. So Rachel from Happy Go Lovely Sleeves is actually hosting the No Body, No Crime book club. It's a free book club. You don't have to like join a Patreon or anything. And this is the book for January. So I'm really hoping I can squeeze it into my TBR at some point this month. We'll see. I've got a pretty hefty TBR, but we'll see. The second book I got from Book of the Month as an add-on is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I have not read anything by Andy Weir, but the things that I have heard about this book make it sound like it's going to be a home run for me. I know Rachel from Raven-Haired Reader and my favorite podcast, Popcorn Culture, they love this book and they reference it all the time. I did not realize how thick of a book it is. It probably doesn't look like it, but I feel like for a Book of the Month book, it's pretty chunky. It is over 450 pages, but I am really looking forward to getting to this one. Not sure when, but excited. Then I finally got to do my Christmas gift exchange with my best friend. And every year I ask him for books. Maybe one year that will change, but I'm always happy with our gift exchanges. And normally in the past, he's pretty much just like stuck to my list, but he went a little rogue this year and I'm so happy that he did. So by that, I mean, this book was not on my list at all. This is The Little Prince by, I'm probably not saying this correct, Antoine de Saint-Exupéry? I don't know. Like I said, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, but I have never read The Little Prince, and I feel like it's just one of those classic books that you really need to read. And he got me this beautiful edition. He talked about how he wasn't sure what edition to get me, but he ended up landing on this one, and it is color illustrated. It's just gorgeous. And so I feel really lucky to have gotten this book from him, and I can't wait to read it and then find a way to display it. This cover, this cloth bound cover, is just so classic feeling to me, and it's my favorite color. And then, like I said, I gave him a list of books to choose from, and I had a couple that I'm like, I really hope he picks that, but I would have been happy with any of them, or else I wouldn't have put them on the list, obviously. But the book that he went with was House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. Haven't read this one yet, and if you watched my TBR that I put up recently, this book is on my January TBR, and at that point I only had the audiobook. And for books like this, I really like to read and listen at the same time. Now I'm gonna get to do that because I was really worried about like getting lost or just forgetting little details in such a big book. And obviously with the release of Flame and Shadow coming out soon, I really wanted to get to this ASAP. So end of the month will definitely be me reading this book. Other things going on this week, I'm really trying to get back on like a healthy grind-ish. This week my goal is every weeknight to do some sort of workout. I wanted to go walking with my friends after school because a walking track just opened near the school. However, that's not gonna happen because the weather is. So instead, I'm about to hop on my fake Peloton bike and do a Peloton workout. And that's gonna be like 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna wind down. I just changed the sheets and everything on my bed, which is my favorite way to get cozy. I'm gonna turn the heating blanket on and just kind of decompress for a little while I start Shark Heart. And of course, I will update you on my thoughts and feelings of these books as the week progresses. Welcome to Wednesday. I did a lot of reading yesterday. I just didn't update because when I got home, it was freezing and I just wanted to take a hot shower and get cozy in the bed. So I did. But I have some reading updates. So let's talk about them. First of all, I finished A Winter in New York, and that was a book. I gave it this many stars. I thought Josie Silver's writing was really good. She's a good writer. She captures like the essence of New York very, very well in a book. But we read books for the plot and for the characters, and I can say that I did not like either in this book. Mostly because, and I'm trying to not really be spoilery here, but it's like the first thing that happens in the prologue of the book. This book is built on lies. This book is built on so many lies that could be solved with an adult conversation. And I am a person that doesn't like conflict. I don't like to admit that I'm wrong, but in this situation, with the way that things progressed in this book, I would have wanted to be like, okay, it's time to lay the cards on the table and be upfront with you. I told you a lie. when I didn't really know you, and I want to fix that because I care about you and you need the truth, and the whole book could have been fixed. Of course, then we wouldn't have a book, but you get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to read about it, and so it shouldn't have been a book. So that's my opinion on that. I can't wait for book club when I have to share all of my very strong opinions. And then this book, I've read about 240 pages in 2 days. I am obsessed with this book. I have that much left, but it's gonna read really fast because all of the sections at the end of the book are very short. See what I mean? Like, it's gonna read really, really fast and wrap up. So I'm probably gonna finish this one today. And this is for my other book club. So this book, I'm just gonna hug it because I feel like hugging it. But this book is about Lewis and Wren, and they've just gotten married, and they live in kind of an alternate reality of our world where there is a disease that can cause animal mutations in people, where they change from people into animals. And the whole experience is very painful and excruciating. And among all that, like, you're having to say goodbye to a friend or a partner who is turning into this animal, even though they're not dying, but it's kind of dying in a way. And so Lewis and Wren have to come to terms with that. And the whole process is sweet and hopeful and funny and heartbreaking and sad. And there was a part last night that I was reading where I was just like sobbing because it was so sad but so beautiful at the same time. And I can't wait to pull my reading journal out and write down some of these quotes that have really, really impacted me. But it's not going to be a 5-star book because the part of the story that I cared about ended like at the 50% mark. And the second half of this book is different. It's kind of a different story. It's the same story, like it's definitely connected to our same like first half of the book. But we're diving into kind of the past and the makings of one of the characters that we got to know in the second half, which is so interesting. It's definitely a narrative choice, but I'm really happy that I'm making such good progress in the books that I wanted to read this week. And when I finish this one today, I can hopefully finish up Ruthless Vows. But I am on my planning block at school. We're supposed to have a fire drill any minute. I just got a ton of work done, so I'm kind of like breathing to myself for a second. Also, I have not wanted to get out of the bed the last couple of days. My alarm has gone off an hour and a half before I have to be at work, and I have just sat there. So if you're like, your hair looks messy today, I know, and I don't care. Sometimes sleeping in or just staying in bed under your electric blanket for a few extra minutes is what you need, and it is what I needed this morning, so.
It only gets harder to find myself in the my only sight fell right beneath my eyes. The darkness is calling, and I'm in its line of sight.
Hi friends, happy Friday night. It's been a crazy couple of days, so I haven't really gotten on here very much. But first of all, reading wise, I finished Winter in New York, which I already told you guys about. And I also finished Shark Heart a couple of nights ago, and I absolutely loved that book. I want to sit down and really be able to talk some more about it. It was odd because the book, well, first I thought it was just in 2 parts, and then I think it was actually in 3 or 4 parts. And I loved part 1. Part 1 was a 5-star book. And then I thought that we didn't need everything, or like the narrative choice in the way that the story was told, the sequence in which the story was told, I thought could have been done differently to help it maintain a 5-star status. But I just thought some interesting choices were made that did bump it down a star for me. And again, I want to be able to really sit down and talk, and I'm about to have to leave, but I wanted to also just give you guys a couple of life updates. First of all, my coworker surprised me today with this Evermore necklace. I know it's probably hard to see, but I love it. And then my other coworker for Christmas got me this Taylor Swift calendar. I can't remember if she saw it on TikTok Shop or if she saw it on Instagram, but that was my Christmas present from her. So I've got a Taylor Swift little picture for every month of the year. My face is having a moment. Let's all pray for it. Today, I definitely thought that we were going to be off school because several schools canceled around us because of some potentially severe thunderstorm and tornado weather. So I was up at 4 o'clock this morning waiting to hear if we had school, we ended up having it, and that means that I am very, very tired right now and very thankful that it's the weekend. But I crashed on the couch. I took a nap when I got home from school. I started watching booktube and then I just fell asleep. But I'm about to go over to one of my coworkers' houses and we're having a bunco night. I don't know if y'all know what bunco is. I feel like I'd never heard of it until a couple of years ago, but it's kind of like a girls' poker night, but it's not poker, it's like a dice game, and I think there's very little strategy involved. It's more of just like social time, but you can win some money, so we're keeping our fingers crossed for that. That would be pretty cool. But my coworker that's hosting it tonight and kind of putting the whole group together is also cooking dinner, so that will be fun. I'm in the middle of Ruthless Vows right now, and I'm absolutely loving it. My other friends, my page turner book club friends, are having a readathon read-in day tomorrow at one of their houses, and so I'm gonna go over there and bring a couple of books and my heated blanket and my Kindle set up and go read with them, which should be a lot of fun. And this feels so silly. I have a best friend. We hang out all the time. I have friends at work that I talk to all the time, but I don't do much like hanging out with people. I'm very much an introvert. I'm very much a homebody, and I love that 98% of the time. But I do miss like college days and high school days where like spur of the moment, you just go over to a friend's house or a friend's dorm room, and this kind of feels like that, and that's really nice. And another one of them like has recently gotten into Crescent City, and another one is into Throne of Glass, and I'm bringing another one Fourth Wing tomorrow, so I feel like some of them are starting to read some of the books that I like to read, and I just think that's going to be a lot of fun. But I need to go and cover this up because she's cute, and head to bunco. I put my hair up to take a nap. I don't know what it's looking like right now. I think if I cover up, my skin issues will be fine. I look very, very tired because I feel very, very tired. I'm gonna be taking some caffeine with me, but let's go try and roll some dice and win some money.